All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. I'm here at Rosie's Corner, right off of Bartell Road in Brewerton. It's the official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. You got to get here for their Fish Fridays. Mac and cheese comes with it, or coleslaw. You can get pork during the week. You can get chicken and biscuits during the week. Featured food, hot and cold subs, pizza wings, a bunch of great stuff going on here at Rosie's Corner. They'll deliver to you. If you're in and around Central New York, get here to the official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. Gift cards are always available, and the customer service here is top-notch. Jody and Jason and the gang doing a remarkable job. And make sure you go like them on Facebook and check out some of their giveaways, some pictures they get posted of all their food. I'm telling you, this place makes an amazing chicken wing, and they do a great Luna. They do a lot of great stuff during the week, like I mentioned, with feature food. So get here to Rosie's Corner in Brewerton. Call ahead, 315-676-3572 for your order. All right, so the Philadelphia Phillies have reeled in JL Real Muto. How about that? Pun intended. And this is a huge move, I think, for both sides. Now, look, Derek Jeter and his party down in Miami, they're trying to get rid of all these guys, have a 2-year contingency plan, just try to compete, maybe hover around 10, 15 games under 500 the next year or two, and start to develop again, get rid of all the big contracts, get rid of all the big superstars, get rid of Stanton, get rid of Yelich, get rid of Ozuna, get rid of Real Muto. I thought it was totally unnecessary to get rid of a couple of those guys, though. I think, once they dangled Real Muto, I think you had no choice but to trade him. But trading Christian Yelich was a complete and utter disaster, in my opinion, and trading Ozuna was a disaster. I think you could have built that franchise around those two guys and then committed to JT Realmuto long-term to give him a 6 to 8 year deal. You've got the best all-around catcher in baseball locked in until his early to mid-30s years. So I thought the Marlins blew it on that stamp from that standpoint. I don't disagree with getting rid of the Stanton contract at all. I think the Yankees were idiots to take it on in the first place. I think New York should have gone in a different direction, not getting an albatross contract and, for sure, going in a different direction, getting more pitching and putting money into other areas. And now they've got Stanton, a boomer-bust player who clearly so far has shown that he can't handle the postseason. Again, jury's still out. We'll see what he does in year 2. But I want to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies. I want to talk about that trade. I want to talk about what they're going to do next. This is a team now in the offseason that has picked up a very reliable, although he gave Yankee fans heart attack for years, and frankly, you wouldn't have it any other way if you're a Yankee fan, because you knew that he had to load the bases in order to get out of trouble. But the Phillies grabbed David Robertson. He's a guy who's going to be able to give Philadelphia innings out of the bullpen. You take a look at picking up Andrew McCutchen. Now, look, I know they overpaid for Andrew McCutchen, but think of it this way. They gave him the extra $2, $3, $4 million a year to get him in because they have the money. This team, they've got all the money coming in from the TV contract. They have a bunch of extra payroll to play with, where, I don't think they're done just yet after the Real Muto trade. And so it just made sense to bring him in. Now, look, is he a shell of his MVP self from a couple years ago? Of course he is. But he's still very, very formidable. He can still pop the ball out of the ballpark. He's going to a hitter's park, so his numbers are going to go up anyway. And he's going to a team that should have a really, really good order. When you take a look at Rhys Hoskins, you look at Real Muto, you look at some other players on that team, they picked up James Segura in the offseason, which I thought was a great move. Andrew McCutchen, I think, will have a very solid tenure in Philadelphia. Speaking of James Segura, tremendous job there by Philly. You're building up the middle in terms of the shortstop position and all the rest, shortstop, catcher, and bullpen in pitching. A little bit more pitching is needed over in Philly, but that is a team that right now, led by Aaron Nola and the starting staff, that's a team that looks pretty good. Now, look, the Marlins got a great haul for Real Muto. You look at Amaro. You look at they got a catcher back. They got a big time pitcher back. In a lot of ways, this is a really great win, I think, for both teams. Marlins can start rebuilding right away with players who are ready right now, and then the Philadelphia Phillies can start to try and form another roster that can compete for a National League pennant. What will the Phillies do next? Well, we know Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are still out there. We know that their owner was spewing shit, right when the season ended about how, hey, we've got a ton of money. We've got so much money that maybe we'll just go get both players. I doubt they're going to get both of them at this point, but I would expect them to get one of the two. I would guess that Harper would be the guy to be signed by Philadelphia, and then maybe Machado, goes over to the White Sox, although at this point, it's anybody's guess. Folks, it's February 8th as we record this, 9 Minutes with Mike Lindsley on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV, and these guys still aren't signed. There's still about 100 free agents who are still out there not signed, and 2 guys who are generational players who are building Hall of Fame resumes are not signed. It just goes to show you that general managers and ownership, no matter where they are, New York, Chicago, Boston, Texas, Milwaukee, San Francisco, Houston, Seattle, Minnesota, it doesn't matter, Toronto, Tampa, Baltimore, a lot of GMs and owners are not going down that road anymore. They're not going to hand out an 8-year deal. They're not going to hand out a 10-year deal. They're just not going to do it. It's going to be a situation where I think if Harper signs with the Phillies, don't be surprised to see him break the bank at like a $200 million contract, but it's for 6 years or 5 instead of 8 or 10. Boris is still going to try to get his years, try to get his money for his client, but right now the market has really dwindled down. As far as Machado goes, I think it'd be a wonderful fit in Philadelphia. You just got to figure out who's going to play short, who's going to play third. Would Machado be open to playing third base for Philadelphia? We know that he wants to play shortstop. He made a big stink about that this year. And in fact, that helped the LA Dodgers to a certain extent because they lost Corey Seager to an injury for the year. Insert Manny Machado at short. You didn't miss a beat. Machado's a way better third baseman than he is a shortstop. He's still formidable at the shortstop position, but he's way better at third. Could you imagine now if you were able to sign Manny Machado or Bryce Harper, the Philadelphia Phillies, with that lineup? They look really, really good. They've got a starting rotation that is super, super powerful. Aaron Nolan company leading the way. A lot of active arms. They got a lot of kids coming up through the farm system. They got a lot of other pitchers ready to compete for major bullpen spots, major long spots out of the bullpen, closer spots out of the bullpen. This is a Phillies team right now that look, they might not get Machado or Harper. They can contend right now for a wild card playoff spot. If they go get a generational player like Machado or Harper, I think they have a great chance, not a good chance, a great chance to win the National League East. It'll come down to them and the Braves and the Nationals. What a great 3-team race that should be in 2019, by the way. When you look at what the Braves did last year, overachieving, you got Acuna coming back, you've got Elbies coming back, you got a lot of great Freddie Freeman, all these really good players for Atlanta. They bring in a Brian McCann, a guy, a veteran who knows the area and the team. And then you've got Washington, of course, where it looks like they're not going to bring back Bryce Harper. You never know. He might go back and take the original deal. Who knows? But even if they don't have him, they're in really good shape. They went out and got Patrick Corbin. They're starting rotation. You've got Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Patrick Corbin. They've got a really good infield. They've got Trey Turner. They have Victor Robles. I saw him all year last year with the Syracuse Chiefs. And you've got Juan Soto, who hit the big time last year. So that's going to be an amazing 3-team race. I would expect the Phillies to sign one of those 2 guys. I think if Machado signs, it's going to be closer to like a 2, 3, or 4-year deal. I don't think he's going to get more than that. And in addition, if you look at Harper, again, if it's from the Phillies' perspective with the money that they've spent and all the rest, and they're going to want to commit to JT Realmuto long term, I would expect them not going over 6 years for Bryce Harper. I could be wrong. That's just what the market looks like. That's what it looks like from people I talk to in the baseball industry. We'll have to see what happens, but I think the Phillies, if you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan, I thought this team was going to make possibly the playoffs last year as a wild card before they swooned down. If you're a Philly fan, it's going up, baby. And if they get Harper or Machado, look out. Mike Lindsley with you from Rosie's Corner, the official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. Like them on Facebook. And, of course, get your food for all the big games. Just off Bartell Road in Brewerton. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports and download my podcast where podcasts are available. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Jody and Jason and the crew here at Rosie's. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.